It is day 2 of the protests in France. It's an indefinite nationwide strike and has taken a dramatic turn as the protesters took their anti-government movement to the Lyon train station with fiery torches and smoke bombs. This as the rail workers voted to extend their strike, while labor unions at the Paris bus and metro operator said that their walkout would continue until next week. Video footage shot inside the mainline train station in Paris shows protesters storming a restaurant's balcony during one of the biggest strikes in France in over a decade. The recent set of protests aimed at forcing the president, Emmanuel Macron, to ditch a planned reform of pensions. Meanwhile, the French police detained a man in Paris after protests escalated. Strikes across the country, bringing operations in most parts of France to a grinding halt. Remember, more than 800,000 people took to the streets against the pension reforms yesterday. Meanwhile, the strike pits Macron to open up France's highly regulated economy against powerful trade unions who blame him for dismantling worker protections. And our correspondent, Elena Casas-Montanez, has been tracking the very latest from Paris, sent us this report. Take a look.
So what's interesting here is that the workers are demonstrating against a pension reform, which they don't even know the details of yet. The government hasn't announced it. All that we know is that they want to replace the current 42 different sets of rules here in France for different pensions depending on professions, with just one universal system for everyone, which means that those who do well out of the current system, like train drivers who can now retire at 53, will be forced to retire at the general retirement age of 62. Now, the government says the new scheme would be fairer to people like freelancers and mums who take time off to have a baby, who are currently losing out. But those workers across the economy say that they're worried that one system for everyone is going to mean reducing everyone's pension rights to the lowest common denominator, and that they're concerned everyone's going to end up working longer and receiving lower pensions.
Killed in car crashes. And in 2017, nearly 2,000 have been victims of homicide. Surprisingly, the report also reflects that drivers were often victims, despite generally being cast as aggressors in most media reports. Uber also said that to ensure safety, it is putting drivers through a screening before accepting them onto the platform. In its report, it said 1 million drivers failed to pass a screening test in 2017 and 2018, and more than 40,000 were removed from the app after extra screening layers.